look at that. Whoa, we've got Jenny and Vicky and us.
And us.
Yeah.
All right.
On this windy Wednesday.
Man, it's blustery out there.
Is it blowing out there? I can feel stuff coming in. Chance of snow tonight, tomorrow, Friday morning, then Sunday night and Monday.
Afraid summer might be gone.
I don't even want to guess around here. We got Tony on. Good morning, Tony. Tony.
Good morning, Tony.
So yeah. If there were any leaves that we're trying to figure out if they should fall off or not, I bet they're going to be gone now.
Yeah.
It was pretty windy last night, though.
It was.
Yeah.
Yesterday morning, just up here, I rode over to see Ron Smith.
Oh, okay.
And it was nice there, nice at our house, and windy here.
Oh, wow.
Crazy.
Just right here, I just knew that later on in the day it started blowing pretty good. It was blowing on Monday, too, in the afternoon up here. I thought we were done with the wind. Actually, this has been the windiest year I can remember here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it started in the winter, it just didn't quit.
Hasn't been horrible, just irritating.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not blowing trees down like it did that one year.
Not yet. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you hear that?
Yeah, I hear it outside.
And Tony posted this, but someone else actually mentioned it. Apparently we had a little bit of a tremor early this morning.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It must have been like around 4 or 5 or something like that. The epicenter is, this is so funny. So the epicenter is in the Pecos, West Texas kind of area around there. Good morning, Beverly. And I mentioned this to a guy, and I don't remember his background, but he does something with oil drilling and something like that. And I said, yeah, it's really funny. All these the oil people say that fracking can't cause that, and yet it's really funny how everywhere they're doing fracking, that's happening. Like all of a sudden, Oklahoma has become more seismically active.
Wow.
Since they started fracking. Which is also funny because I'm a sci-fi fan.
Yeah.
In Battlestar Galactica, fracking was a cuss word. So Good morning, Bethany.
How does thankfulness look like in your life?
Yeah,
it looks like generosity.
He is jumping right in there. Oh my!
Not wasting any time.
I know. He just shot that rabbit down, didn't he? But Tony, that's kind of interesting. That
yeah.
And New Mexico is a pretty seismically active state. Anyhow, we just don't really.
What I'm thinking, if they pull all that out, then the crust shrinks. It's going to make the Earth smaller, which will make less gravity, which will make me lighter. So dude, I'm all for it.
That's a pretty hefty weight loss plan to get into there. Oh, it's windy in Dallas, Fort Worth too. It's windy here. So I guess that's coming all the way through.
Didn't look to see which way it was going. I don't know if we're getting it from you or you're getting it from us.
I saw it kind of blowing from the west.
Okay, you're getting it from us, Dennis.
Last night it was anyhow. I assume it's still the same. Yeah. So thankfulness. We're getting ready for Thanksgiving. Yeah. Talked about our favorite food dish on Monday. What's your favorite Thanksgiving dish?
My mom used to make these cream cheese and spice bread rolls. That and regular just rolls with turkey and mayonnaise after dinner.
With turkey and mayonnaise after dinner. So like that's leftovers. The evening or the next day?
Yeah. Thanksgiving dinner is all good, but
yeah. That's what Dennis said, all of it, especially dessert. Tony likes the real homemade cranberry sauce, not the canned stuff.
Yeah, I've never been. I can eat a cranberry muffin, but cranberries, not so much.
Thankful for Java and Jesus and us is what Jose says. So we're heading into that, and so we're doing a short Thanksgiving series called #Thankful. So full of thanks, and oh, it's quiet.
Huh.
Yeah, I don't know if the snow will get down that low. The high tomorrow is something silly. I think the high tomorrow. Well, let me look and see. That's terrible. I look at the weather like every 10 minutes, and I can't remember.
Remember when we used to just look out a window?
Yeah, I know, right? The high tomorrow is 38.
Ooh.
The high. It's gonna start out at 31.
Man, we finished the orchard just in time.
I know. Yeah, the high tomorrow is 38, and then the low is 26. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Windy and chilly. It'll be good. So thankful, and what we talked about was thankful for what God gives, right?
Which is pretty much everything.
Yeah, in my mind, I'm thinking more thankful for the things.
Yeah, stuff.
Because Sunday we're going to talk about thankful for what God does, right? So thankful for what God gives, which everything we have comes from God, and we just forget it. So why do you think? We'll ask them. Why do you think it's so easy for us to be ungrateful? Why do you think that's so easy for us to kind of fall into grateful, thankful? I'm kind of using interchangeably, but we just kind of take stuff for granted. Why do you think that is? Stew on that. Wow. I can't
That's
read
rude.
that. I think I got it now. I think I got it.
Root of her.
Yeah. The love of money. No, I'm kidding. And by the way, so that's a fun one. Sometime we'll do just a Java and Jesus about verses taken out of context and verses that are twisted. So one of them, well, and it's taken a couple of different ways. One of them I've heard, money is the root of all evil, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you'll have people say, no, the love of money is the root of all evil. The Bible doesn't actually say that either.
It says the love of money, but what does it say?
The love of money is the root of all kinds of evil, or all sorts of evil.
Not all evil.
Yeah, not all evil can come from the love of money because they didn't have money in the beginning, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean all evil. It means all kinds of evil, and we know that that's true.
A plethora.
Oh, so we compare ourselves to others, so that the little envy or jealousy thing kind of comes into there. You're right, yeah. And the compare game, our marketing is big into that. Our culture certainly is big into that. Social media plays really big into that. In fact, if you have the opportunity to be able to influence some teenage girls, especially, but now it's even younger. When you say teenage these days, you could be talking about 10 years old now.
Oh yeah, 2 digits.
Young girls particularly are susceptible to the comparison game, which is so devastating.
It's something you wrote there. We deserve, I think, tags it too. That's the feeling that I get when I'm not thankful for the things I have. Well, I deserve that. I worked for that. I earned that. That's mine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Ooh, you're tapping into the message here. You're pretty good.
I was there Sunday.
I tried to be.
You were.
So yeah, that we compare what we have to other people, and we're like, well, I want that. Yeah. Satan is so good at that, by the way. And that's not a new tactic. He did that with Eve in the Garden of Eden. Yeah. You know, that they had everything the way God intended. And yet Satan somehow was able to convince her that what she needed was that.
Yeah.
Not what she had. Well, what she needed was that.
Reminds me of the jerk. And that's all I need. Just that and that lamp. And that's all. That lamp and...
I haven't seen that. That was Steve Martin.
Yeah.
He's one of my... I love Steve Martin. he's even gotten better. I think as he's gotten older
I agree.
and playing different roles. But yeah,
Ooh,
Oh,
baby.
that is one of the big things with a mission trip, especially to a third world country. I don't know if you saw Jerson, I believe is how you say his name. It's probably not in Nicaragua, but we have a new buddy from Nicaragua that I'm looking forward to
cool.
connecting with, and he's involved with Be the Hoven there.
Mhm.
And he and Jose were rapid shooting Spanish. I caught most of it, but it looked like they're trying to organize a trip real fast. So that would be so much fun, especially when we go to, they call it La Finca, which is the Villa Hoven camp near, what is it, near Matagalpa?
Near the mountains.
Yeah, it's up in the mountains about 5,000 ish feet, which is apparently the perfect altitude for growing coffee.
Got my vote.
They actually grow coffee there. It used to be a coffee farm, which is what La Finca means, farm. But I don't know, and it's a really cool story. The Villa Hoven, it was given to them, and the guy who was there when they took it over had a vision of doing coffee to help support the camp. And wow,
And it did.
when you can
It
get
does.
Java and Jesus together, come up with a devotional. So let's get back to that. So you guys are right. So we compare ourselves to other people, and what you spelled out, I think, was pride.
Mhm.
And that goes directly to the we deserve it. I deserve this. And so, well, but so here's something, and I can't remember the title of the study. Andy Stanley did it. But it's a short little series on marriage, and what you have to be careful about, and I tell new couples this all the time, what you have to be careful about is not feeling it's the expectations in marriage, right?
Yeah.
That and we all do that. I mean, we at least have what we might think of as an idea of what marriage is going to be like. So we have expectations in marriage, and we have to be careful with those. And what tends to happen is your hopes and dreams, once you get married, turn into expectations. And so then, the guy works really hard to make sure he's home for dinner every night, but that was always what the wife hoped for and expected. And so he can really, sometimes you guys know when you're working it's hard to like stop what you're doing and go home. So he can do that, maybe even take some flack at work and have to really cause problems at work to make that commitment. But then when he gets home, when it's an expectation, congratulations, you made it to 0.
Yeah. And I think we do that with God too.
Exactly.
If you
Yeah.
take care of me every day, congratulations, you're doing what you're supposed to do.
And I'll give you one from my personal life too. You guys have heard most of my story. My dad bought a grocery store when I was in 4th grade. Dennis knows all this. Dennis knows way more than he can share about this. So bought a grocery store when I was in 4th grade, and we worked there, but we didn't get paid. Now my oldest sister did, but my other sister and I, we just worked there and we didn't get paid. And so, I'm getting a little bit older, and it was kind of fun when I first started because I could eat and drink whatever I wanted as long as I didn't waste it. But I got a little bit older, and I said, Dad, I think I should get paid. He goes, son, you do get paid. And I'm like thinking, well, I must have a really big bank account then. And I said, well, what do you mean? He goes, well, you have a place to live and food to eat and clothes to wear. and I immediately thought, you're just supposed to do that anyways. I shouldn't even have to work for that.
That's in the pre-contract.
Yeah. But we do the exact thing to God. God provides all these things for us. And we think that we earned it. That was me. Well, but I mean, I shouldn't have to work for that. That should just be given. I need some money, or that we deserve it. And particularly, and Jose hit on this with the mission trip, part of our problem in the U.S. is that we're like among the most blessed nations of the world as far as stuff is concerned.
And we begin to depend on it.
But yeah, well, it's expected. I mean, hey, that I deserve that. That's just, having a nice home and a nice car and being able to go out to eat anytime I want and doing all the things, that's just given. I want to get ahead in life. I need more. And when you go to another country, yeah, a mission trip will change that fast. You realize just how blessed we are, just how much God has given us that we just take for granted every day. For example, let's get real basic here. Are you ready?
Great.
You were in, I don't think you got to experience this in Nicaragua. In Ethiopia, we did. So we went to Ethiopia, and see if I'll try to phrase this delicately. You try to adjust your rhythm according to where you're going to be during the day. Because if your schedule is that you take the long sit later in the day, they just have squatty potties, which means there's a hole in the ground and a bucket and a brush. And so I asked them, because I made sure all that was taken care of at the hotel where we had real stuff. And I'm like, what's the brush and the water for? Oh, so that's their way of flushing the toilet. So you put the water, because it's just concrete with little raised footprints and a hole in the ground. Now, they did put some stuff around so you weren't like out in the middle of everybody. So you just put the water in there and you just scrub the floor, push it all down in the hole. We so take stuff for granted. Now, we can go back in the days of our parents, maybe, where they had to deal with outhouses and Sears catalogs and stuff like that. But we take so much for granted. Having 3 meals a day, and then if you're like most of us, snacks in between, we take those for granted. So we tend to do that. So how do we become thankful? I named 3 things in there that in the message that can help us to be thankful.
That we need to realize.
Yeah, so we need to realize. So what's one? Can you think of one?
We didn't learn it first.
Yeah, I didn't earn it, and we think stuff like this. I'm saving. Did I say that already? I'm better than like that. So first of all, we think I earned it. What do you mean? I work hard for my money, and I know. I mean, the hardest I ever worked was when I was working at a vegetable stand, and it wasn't selling at the vegetable stand. It was the easy part. It was being there by 6 o'clock in the morning and picking the stuff that we were going to sell in a vegetable stand, then work until 9 at night when it got dark.
Who made me able and placed me in a position to be there?
Exactly. And who gave me that job? I mean,
and the vegetables.
Yeah, yeah. That's the best one. All that other we can make happen, but we can't make those suckers grow. You can plant and water, and someone else did all that, thankfully. But we go pick it. But so if we realize I didn't earn it, that even the work that I did to work for that, God gave me the ability to do that. Mm-hmm. So many things God puts into place for us, even though we work, and I believe that work was always meant to be pleasurable. Flush it down the hill. So similar. Problem in Panama is that's a jungle. You've been in the jungle, haven't you? Yeah. Guam a jungle?
Yep, Guam is a jungle.
Yeah. There's lots of critters in the jungle. I want to make sure there's nothing around. We have the ability to work and do it. We didn't really earn it. Yeah. And then the other one is, we talked about it, that we don't deserve it.
We have all that God's provided, and still we as a human race turned our back on him, and he still gave it to us.
So think about, we live in this country, which is greatly blessed. I'm here because this is where I was born. Yeah. there's nothing in me that makes me deserve to be born here rather than born in a third world country. There's nothing, that made me born to my parents. I thought we were middle class. Dennis, I think my family might have been poor growing up. But in that class, everyone around us was all in the same boat, so I didn't know any different. But I didn't deserve that. I mean, I could have been born to other parents in really difficult situations. I mean, we don't deserve the goodness that God gives. Yeah, I mean, we don't even deserve the next breath. I mean, God hasn't promised, how many days we'll live or anything. We kind of talked about that a bit last night in the study.
Well, you just staying one step ahead of us, Jose.
He is really. And then the last one. What was the last one? Oh,
don't depend on it.
Yeah. So because I didn't earn it, because I don't deserve it, I need to realize that I don't need to depend on the stuff. I tell you, when we start depending on stuff, our life gets really crazy, and we start acting kind of crazy too, right?
Clutchy.
Yeah.
Holding tight.
Some of you don't know, Jim sold me his Tacoma pickup, Toyota Tacoma. I love that truck. That is a way cool truck. But if I started to depend, now I do, so far, every time I've turned the key, it's started, I know, right? As long as I remember to push in the clutch, because I hadn't had a standard in a while. But if I start putting my trust and depending in that truck, then if something happened to that truck, my world would come crashing down. Yeah. And I've known, you guys may have too, seen people where something happens to some of their stuff and their world just comes crashing down.
And there's really only God that's dependable. Everything else is iffy.
Yeah. Even people, I mean, we hate that. Even the most dependable people and faithful and loyal people are going to let us down from time to time. I mean, and so really only God is worthy of us depending on him, of us trusting in him. And when we do that, so if we can realize those three things and make those three shifts in thinking, that I didn't earn it, I don't deserve it. Boy,
I know.
Take it easy. Take it easy. It's only Wednesday.
He got his roller skates on.
I didn't earn it. I don't deserve it, and I shouldn't depend on it. If we can really shift that thinking and depend on God, you're right. When we start depending on those other things, they really become idols. Mm-hmm. And if we can do that and depend on God, then the stuff takes the place that it ought to be. Blessings. In fact, going back to that iMarriage is the title of the series I was talking about earlier.
That's right.
If we can keep our hopes and dreams from becoming expectations, then we're able to give gifts. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So if my wife, it's not an expectation, well, you're supposed to be here, every day for dinner. Then when I do that, that's a gift for her. It's not an expectation.
Right.
And so the same way with God, when we can get that right with God, he's a really wise guy, I tell you. He's Jose is Spanish for Moses. He's like that guy. No, I'm kidding.
Good looking too.
I know, right?
Manly man.
Except I think he still has some hair. No, wait, not much. Okay, yeah, never mind. But if we could do that, then those things that God gives us are blessings, not expectations.
And provided, if we're in that frame of mind, then those things are provided so that we can use them. He gave them to us to use, the talents to bless him. And it occurred to me on the drive up this morning that there's an added benefit to all that. There's a hidden joy in giving. It's like a Secret Santa.
Oh,
I just can hardly wait for Jose to open the present that I got him because I know it's what he was looking for.
Yeah.
And you can sit back and there's an inside warm that you get from that. So God doesn't just do it to us; He does it for us.
There is, and you've heard the saying, it's more blessed to give than to receive.
Yeah.
Here's why I think giving is such a blessing, and so that's what it leads to. That thankfulness leads to generosity, because when we get to that place, we realize that that's things that we can use to do what we're called to do, and to bless other people. Here's why I think it's such a blessing for us to give to people, because God so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son. When we are giving, that's an attribute that God has, is that God is generous. And when we do that, then we're acting in the way that God has created us.
Right. We're performing as we were built.
Right.
For the purpose we were built.
Yeah.
And there's joy in that.
And love is not a noun in the Bible. It's a verb. And so always love is always for the other person. And so love gives always.
Yeah.
It doesn't take. Love always gives. Isn't that cool? So yeah, be thankful for what God gives. All the stuff that we have.
And Paul's going to explain to us how we can be thankful.
That's what I'm hoping. How do we do that on a day-to-day basis? How do we make those shifts?
I missed last Friday. I got to get on YouTube.
Oh well, we
solve the problems of the world.
Absolutely, yeah. We don't remember what the solutions were, but so we'll jump into that. How do we do that on a daily basis? What are some things we can do in our lives to help us to be thankful
for the things God is doing? We're giving Jose a heads up so he can have all the answers ready for Friday.
He probably already knows them all anyhow. Well, let me pray for you guys. Thanks for hopping in with me. Fun Wednesday. Wednesday. I think that was a Winnie the Pooh episode or book or something. Wednesday. But let me pray for you, send you out. If you're up and around here, be careful, prepare. I got to get some stuff out of the truck, and I might want to bring some wood up on the porch just in case. Well, I don't know. Maybe if I don't bring it, we'll get more snow.
That's neat. Yeah. Yeah, that nails it. It is a blessing to give.
Vicky, I had the same thing happen when I had my first youth ministry position in college. And this little old lady who probably didn't have enough to feed herself would come and about once every 2 or 3 months and hold my hand, and in it was $5.
Oh.
This is in 87, 88 era. Hold my hand and put $5 in there. And I told her, I said, you probably could use that more than I. And boy, I got it. She looked me right in the eye and said, "Don't you rob me of my blessing." And yes, I was like, "What?" Oh, Pastor Shelby says, Jose knows everybody.
Who's Pastor Shelby?
Shelby Moon, pastor at Westminster Presbyterian. Just had breakfast with him yesterday. So tell him hi back.
That's church when we were growing up.
Oh, yeah.
No. She went to Methodist. That was my church.
It's been a while, huh?
I have been.
Since you've grown up. Well, let me pray for you guys, send you out into your way. Lord, thank you for your love, for the way that you work in us. Thank you, God, that you just bless us. Things we can't earn, things we don't deserve. And so, Lord, help us not to depend on the stuff that you give in this life. Rather, help us to see it as tools to be used for you, for your honor and for your glory, and God, to bless other people and to demonstrate your love to them. Lord, help us to see blessings in all the things that you give us, and help us to be thankful. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thanks, guys, for hopping in.
Yeah.
Thanks for being so participative. I love that. Maybe I should ask. Maybe if I ask better questions as we go, they can participate a bit more.
Yeah, that was a good back and forth this morning. That's fun.
A lot of fun. So we see you guys on Friday with Paul and all the answers.